Dyslexia Genius here. We're back on the Victrola cabinet, and the doors were a little springy, and I thought it was the hinges. So how to check your hinges? You just take your hinge like this, and you just collapse it like that, and you make sure we have a good touching here. There's no gaps. So on this one, when you put it together, you see up here how this is bowed out, and this little piece here is bent out. Well, that little bend, when you screw everything together, will move the hinge.
Is that off this cabinet or off the A1?
This is off something, but I know it's a phonograph hinge.
But it's spring.
But it's a spring. That's how you check them. The problem was, we're talking about this piece here and the back of the door where the hinges are. So my hand's the door, this is that part. So when you open the door like this, when it closes, you see how it hits here? There should be a gap here. So everything's moved on this. And one reason it's all moved was, this is the lock system for the door. This little pin, and that moves down, and that moves up. And there's a hole down there at the bottom where that fits. So when we take this door, and we look at where this lock system comes in, like this, fits right in here. You can see how this got loose and it was missing one screw, which was this flat screw. Now I have to find a slotted steel or brass screw to fit. And this is where it becomes hard on restorations. You go, oh, this screw fits perfectly flat in here and recessed. When we took the hinges off, Uncle Bubba's been in here and he used these. And this is not right. They don't fit. The angle right here at the head of the screw is wrong. These angles here are much steeper. So what we have to do on this is we have this looseness like this.
Cause from what?
Caused from the lock system being loose, and it just beat on it like that. So how are we going to fix that? Well, we'll take a little tight bond. You gently lift up here, and we're going to inject a lot of tight bond. There we go. And we will put a nice clamp on like that. Wait a second, let me get a towel. And you'll let this dry at least a few hours. The tight bond works very well. You want to get it out of the screw hole and out of the recessed area. And when you start cleaning on these, you know, you're going to start sanding down like this. You kind of want to rub your hand over it. And I rubbed my hand over this and I felt that little spot piece coming up. And once you get in here to start sanding, you could break it. So you have to be very careful. I wanted to clean it first before we glued it back down. So the other thing is, we get this edge, and because things move, this edge up here on the door was hitting the side of the cabinet. So if we come around here and we put this door in and we slide it over, you see how we have a gap here? There's a fine line like a car door that comes all the way up. But lo and behold, it's hitting here. So when this opens up, it's fine. But when the door closes, it's going to push up in here. So how do we fix this? Easy. We have to remove a little material here, or we remove the material from the door, this backside. You're not going to see it when it opens up, you know, so the door will open up like this. You're not going to see this, and you restain it. So on removing the material, we're going to use our sanding block. And you're going to look at the veneer. You can see how nice thick the veneer is, and that's a little loose, and that could cause it. You see how this, I have a lip right here. I have that little lip. That little lip could cause the door not to fully close. It will give it a bind. So you'd come in here with some 220 sandpaper, holding it flat on the edge. Now you can see the lip is going away. So you'll sand that down. You'll have to put the door back on and go back and forth. You only need 2 screws on each side of that and you'll get it. But that's what's causing the door to be springy. That little piece of veneer is moved. Everything's moved on these, 100 years old. And that's how you fix it. We'll come back here, restain that mahogany and fix it all. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And that's my tip for the day.